Hey, hi everyone. Thanks for joining the call. Good to see you all on a Sunday. So, welcome to the Practical AI for Leaders session. So, this is a 2-hour session where we'll be talking about the basics of building workflows using AI and using a no-code platform called N8N. And also at the end of the session, we will, at the half of the session, we'll be having a hands-on time where we will be building agents ourselves. So by the end of the session, you'll be able to build your first agent. So I'll quickly introduce myself. So I'm Rahul. I've been working in Amazon for the past 6 years, and I'm someone really driven by tech and also curious about it. So hence, I've been exploring my hands on the AI space for the last 1 year. And even at Amazon, I play a very similar role where I lead the Gen AI core team for my org in Amazon. So we build AI agents for the past 1 year, especially on the platform N8N, and parallelly we have been building this community as well called Senpai, where we are providing builders a platform to showcase their work and also for leaders to understand what's happening in the AI space and also giving them a chance to build something themselves so that they get an idea and take it back to their own company. I'll hand it over to Shivaji to introduce himself. Shivaji, are you there? Okay, seems he has left the meeting. Just give me a minute. It seems there's a network issue on his end, but yeah, we'll just wait for a minute for him to join. So yeah, this is our third session which we are having, and earlier we had a similar session for leaders to understand about the things evolving in AI space, and like that was about 3 months back, and ever since that a lot has changed. Every few weeks or months there are some really new launches, and things are becoming more and more easy. And also at the same time, we also had few sessions where that was builder focused, where we shortlisted 5 members who showcased their demos to the audience, and that was also a good platform for them to show what they have built. We also had a hackathon in the month of August. People came from different parts of Bangalore and some even outside Bangalore to develop simple AI agentic workflows in a matter of few days. Yeah, in a matter of few hours.
Hey everyone, Shivaji this side. So me and Rahul are MBA batchmates. We both have done our masters from IIM Indore. I think some of our batchmates are also here in the call. I can see Vamshi and one more Ansh. Ansh is our senior, I think. Good to see. So as Rahul said, we've been doing this for almost close to a year. What started as just out of curiosity, we started building agents for out of interest, and then that has become more like a mainstream thing right now. So we run this Senpai community where we have almost close to 300, 320 AI builders across the globe. Most of them are from India, where they share their the automations that they build, where the people take actively feedback from each other, everything in and around AI stuff. Um, Keeping Senpai aside, I also work as an AI program manager at one of the Bangalore startup where I actively handle A to Z of AI implementations across different domains, sales, marketing, operations, everything. So yeah, super excited and pumped to be here and to take this session forward. Don't hesitate to drop your questions if you have any in the chat when the session is going on. Yeah, over to you, Rahul. You're on mute.
Yeah, thank you, Shivaji. So before we get into the details, let's see what we're going to do here in terms of the agenda. So we are first going to start with some foundational AI concepts, just to ensure that everyone are on the same page. And I mean, there are a lot of questions and confusion about the different terminologies used in the AI space. So just to get that thing clear out of the way, that is one thing. Then talk about why is this important right now? What is N8N? Why is it important to learn it? Or why is it important to learn any no-code platform at this moment? Then the core of any working with any AI system, be it a agentic workflow or be it just a simple chatbot, right, is about the prompts and context which we set. So we're going to spend some time in some techniques which we have learned in the past 1 year on building the right prompts or setting the right context. And then we'll go into the N8N side of things, where we will talk about the building blocks of N8N and talk about some of the foundational concepts of N8N, and then have a hands-on N8N building exercise. So here we'll be showing two demos on N8N, and it's going to be really simple demos, and it'll be like a hands-on session where we will work parallelly, and hopefully by the end of the session, everyone has built their own agent. Okay, and then yeah, towards the end will be a Q&A session, and also feel free to ask questions during the middle of the session as well. No problem in that.
Just to set the context right here, guys, this is for the beginners completely. To give an understanding of how AI works in the back end, what is an API, how does integrations work when we're talking about AI agents, very basic stuff. So when people are talking in the office or in general, so you have a base level understanding of how things work, and probably moving forward down the line, default AI is going to become the mainstream. It's just a question of when. So this would be your first step. There's not going to be any hi-fi AI agents or anything on those lines. Very simple, straightforward. Consider this as your step one. That's all.
Yeah. So, like, why AI, right? That's the most important question. And I think by now, most of us have realized that AI is important, and it's important to upskill ourselves in this space. Probably that's why we are all here attending the session as well. And you might have also noticed that in office, there is not one day which goes without anyone mentioning the word AI, right? And it's literally, I think, the buzzword of 2025. So why it's important right now is, one, because it's reshaping the way we work. So be it a simple data analysis, or be it a simple report which you're building, or a document which you're writing, everyone is using AI to some capacity, and the way we work is changing. So people are able to deliver solutions faster, have better quality of work, or maybe like improve the number of documents they're able to write, or analysis and reporting has become so easy to do right now at work. And I think to some capacity, most of the roles which we are right now has a need of AI, and if not, we are getting behind the rest. And it's kind of becoming a new baseline skill as well, like similar to how I think back in the day when Excel was just launched, right? It was the new skill to learn. And now in the next 15 years, Excel was a bread and butter for any person working in the corporate environment. So AI is going in that direction, and knowing AI skill is the much needed thing right now in the market. And technology is democratized. So what I mean by that is, earlier, let's say you had to build a report, or build some automation, or build some small product, right? We were always dependent on tech teams, and tech teams were the bottleneck there, because bandwidth was a concern, and we are not able to get the right things prioritized, and we needed that right skill set of knowing maybe core Python or Java or JavaScript or any of these languages, right? But now with AI, there tech is democratized, and literally anyone can build anything. So the expectations are increasing at the workplace. People are expecting even program managers or MBA grads or anyone with a non-tech background to build prototypes at least. Like, in fact, I think Google has started this. So for a normal program manager, product manager role, you are supposed to vibe code a prototype during your interview. So interviews are becoming like tech interviews right now. So it's not just about building the mocks or having a good idea in mind. It's also about execution. And I think that's been implemented in the workspace as well, where before we closely work with the tech teams to deliver a solution, it's not just about writing a business requirement document or a mock. It's also about having a small prototype in place so that there is no communication gap between what's expected and what the developer is going to productionize. So there's a very thin line between tech and non-tech these days. The line is getting thinner day by day, and
So
yeah, it gives a new competitive edge as well. So
no, I
that's
think
another.
Rahul, we are almost on the lines of having this as a good to have. It changed from good to have to must have. I think probably maybe another 3 months or 6 months where this having this skill would become a mandatory thing for all the job hires.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going in that direction, and it's either we upskill right now or we have to play catch up later. So I think better to upskill right now because later on it's going to be tough. Better to have the competitive edge right now. So it's a good thing to learn right now, and it's a must-have probably as well. So and again, like on when we talk about AI, right? Like it's a bit confusing about what is a normal automation versus what are AI agents versus agentic AI systems. Like all these words are interchangeably used. But let me just clarify what exactly each of these mean with a simple analogy in the cooking space. So, for example, let's talk about traditional automations. So, traditional automations are something which have been running for the last few years. And those are nothing but you give it a certain set of rules, and those rules are converted into a certain process. So, you give it an input, you get a output, and it's always the same thing. So, it's as simple as like, let's talk about McDonald's or something, right? Where there's a conveyor belt and you need to make a burger. And the burger has a bun, lettuce, then tomato, patty, etc. And every time it's the same recipe. So there's one lettuce, there are two tomatoes, one patty, one cheese slice. It's set, and even the size of the tomatoes are already standardized. How much time the patty is cooked, everything is standardized there. So how much sauce is put, so it's a simple rule based thing where you give it certain inputs, it's going to always give you the same output. And this is something which I've been doing for the last 20-30 years, right? Ever since automations have been in the industry. But now with AI agents, the automation gets a bit smarter. And here it is goal driven rather than process driven. So the goal is to have a good quality burger. So every time the AI agent kind of determines what is the right quantity, right time of cooking of the burger. All these things are decided backwards of the goal here. So an AI agent is smart enough and it's flexible of the context. So maybe like if the patty was cooked a bit more, maybe add a little less salt or add more salt. So all these decisions are taken on the go, and it works in some places, right? Maybe not in a traditional while having a traditional burger, but maybe let's say you're cooking something else and you want to cater to the audience. Maybe the audience likes spicy food, so accordingly it can adjust. Audience likes bland food, accordingly it can adjust. So AI agents are smarter. Although it is guided by a set of rules, it adds a smart layer on top of that to make a better and more optimized end product. So in this case, a burger. So this is the difference between a traditional automation and AI agent. So, and then comes agentic AI, and this is much broader aspect here. So agentic AI works towards a shared goals. So whereas AI agents were specific to a single goal, an agentic AI system has multiple agents working together towards a single goal. So in the previous example, in terms of a restaurant, we had an AI agent only for cooking the burger. But here, let's say you're running the whole restaurant. you need to talk about maybe uh, uh, getting the order from the customers, or getting cooking the right amount of burger, and ordering the ingredients, and taking care of the payment system. All these things are multiple agents, and you can think about agentic AI as working toward the goal to run a restaurant and make a profitable restaurant. So it takes care of all the small decisions, works with all agents parallelly, and can collaborate and communicate to solve like complex multi-step problems. So that's what an agentic AI does. So any questions here? I'll take a pause on the difference between these three things. Okay. So to summarize, traditional automations are rule-based. Simple rules, give it an input, it always give the same output. So it is deterministic in nature. Yeah, Vamsi, you have a raised hand?
Yes. So again, in my experience, I found that transition from tradition or AI agents to agentic AI takes time. So is there a way to communicate, or is there a way to transition from AI agents to agentic AI system? Like let's say half of my half of my tasks are agentic AIs, and 25% of my tasks are using traditional automation, normal pipelines and all. And if I want to, and another 25% is agentic AI systems. So what kind of challenges will I be facing if I want to
Yeah.
transition from tradition to?
Yeah, got it. So that's a very good question. And see, like the rule number one in especially the time we are in right now is do not use AI just for the sake of using AI. So it can be a little overwhelming that everyone is talking about AI. So even we need to add AI to our automation. So we might tend to use it just for the sake of doing it. So when your process needs something which is SOP driven and should always be deterministic in nature, let's say as simple as when you order a item on Swiggy, and um the bot needs to give a refund, right? For let's say you have never received the order. There's no reason to add AI for it. So you paid 500 rupees, you're going to get a refund of 500 rupees. And let's say there are situations where the quality of the food is bad, or there's a photo added, etc. That's where right now an associate is sitting and looking at the photo and like trying to make some judgment, and you get a random number within 0 to 500 as a refund. That's maybe there a smart layer might be needed. Maybe like we add certain things like some ingredients are missing or something is missing. Basically, depending on the situation, you need to leverage automation or leverage an AI agent. And in your case, where you have like some percentage in automation, some percentage in AI agents, let's say that you have a set of AI agents and those are working well. Now you need to work towards a larger goal. You need someone to orchestrate it. Currently, you would see that humans are managing AI agents to do individual specific tasks. But let's say you want to automate that and you want to orchestrate the whole thing. That's when you build an AI agentic system where one parent agent is working with multiple sub AI agents. So when you're confident about how all the individual AI agents work, that's when you transition from AI agent to an agentic AI system, where the agentic AI is overall monitoring and orchestrating the entire AI agents and traditional automations.
Yeah.
Also, Vamshi, just to add one more line here, as Aklu was rightly saying at the beginning, I think overkill is the right term to be used here, right? So if it's a simple process that can be done through an automation or an if condition, like why do you want to use an LLM here? Because the moment you are setting up an LLM, there is always this prompt of fine tuning it, making sure that it does not setting up the guardrails, for example. All that comes into the picture. Why do you want to set up something where there's a probability of things failing when it's a simple if condition? Like you don't want to overkill spending more resources on it, right?
Yes, I do understand that, but yeah, the problem that we are facing was about scale. So if
Hmm.
condition, almost all the time it won't work. I mean, most of the time it won't work. And yeah, there are certain outliers each of the time. So always the food delivery might not be not receiving, maybe stuck somewhere or late. No, again, I do
Yeah,
understand Rahul's and yours point, but yeah, I just wanted to understand your perspective.
correct. So that's a good point, Vamsi. So when the variety of outcomes are large, right, that's when you can either choose to build an AI agent to reduce the workload on the development of the product, or you can choose to spend time on development of the product and cater to all the use cases. And for things which are not falling under the bucket of traditional automation, you reroute it to an AI agent. So it's something like you have handled 50 conditions through traditional automation, but it falls outside the bucket. That's where you add a smart layer. So depend on the process. So when you are having a chatbot or when you're having any kind of free flowing conversation, definitely traditional automations won't work there. But yeah, like it's all use case backwards, and that's where you need to decide and also take a decision between uh, time spent on development versus the time spent on the AI agents cost, because LLMs are also costly, right? So those calls need to be made. Cool. Good.
Mohit wanted to ask something. I think Mohit had raised hand.
Yeah. So I just wanted to ask, so you gave the example of McDonald's where you mentioned you will need, let's say, multiple agents for, you talk about ordering and maybe some manufacturing, etc. So how is it determined that, one agent can't do all these five different things and we'll need multiple agent to do one thing? Is it a kind of a limitation what one agent can do? And
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a very good question, Mohit, and that's one of the practices which most people fail at, where trying to overload an agent with multiple tasks. We have noticed also in the past where we try to give an agent multiple things to do, it doesn't know the right priority. So if you are asking it to cook as well, if you're asking it to order the ingredients as well, it might prioritize one thing over the other and might not produce quality at either of these. So that's when you need an agent to give to a specific task rather than doing multiple tasks. So if it has multiple goals, it's going to fail. That's why you have multiple individual sub agents which are very good at their tasks, and then an overall orchestrating agent which can orchestrate all of these together.
So Mohit, it's always better to have specific agents and get the work done, having someone at the top rather than having one do all the work, because that fails. At least at the point where we are with LLMs, in fact, from our personal experiences also, as we've been doing this,
Mhm.
that definitely fails if you overload one agent with asking it to do, for example, making sure, take care of the inventory, take sure the orders are delivered within 30 minutes, make sure the payments have been made to the workers, just to give you a few examples. So it's always better have different agents with very specific talks, which always make sure that you get 100% output in the way that we want us, that we want.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
cool. So yeah, now that we have covered all this, the game changer right now, which we have with all these no-code platforms, is using AI agents and traditional automations hand in hand together, and that's where N8N also comes into the play. So I'm not sure if everyone has installed N8N. Like we'll probably like give you 2-3 minutes later on to install, not install it, just to register on the website. So it's like a visual no-code platform, and it helps you build any workflow automations with the traditional way with AI agents, connects with various apps like Google Sheets, various APIs, databases, other AI models, and you basically don't need to write any code. And everything is visual, so you know exactly what is happening, and you have a lot of control also over it. We will be walking you through N8N shortly, and here are some of the good reasons why we need to use N8N or need to know any code no code platform. Like N8N is the best one which we have come across, but at your companies we might have different products, so depending on that, but the whole concept of it is the same. So in N8N you can see everything. So basically every node, so N8N is a combination of nodes which we have, right? So every node can be seen. So if it is a trigger node, or if it's a data transformation node, or an AI agent, all these terms might be overwhelming right now, but I'll show it to you soon. But basically, you can see what is happening. You have a full visual representation of what's happening, rather than a traditional way where you have a visual ID, or a place where you can see code. So here you're not seeing code, here you're actually visualizing building blocks. You can integrate it with almost everything: Google Sheets, then Google Drive, OpenAI. They have about like 4,000 app connections. Then it is built for AI orchestration, so you can easily build AI agents, add it to your traditional automations. You can easily scale big, so you can also build prototypes, and also N8N has ways to productionize your agents. So it's not just about building it something for learning, but also actual business use cases are on N8N, and many companies have already onboarded them, and it turns non-tech teams into builders. So most of us are non-tech folks. If we were tech folks, we would probably prefer building things on Python or Java, but this is where N8N helps. Like, it helps non-tech teams also build stuff. Okay, so few of the things which can be done with N8N, simple to complex ones. So you can build automated daily reports, like an email report, which can be sent on your Slack or WhatsApp. Basically, reading through all your mails and categorizing it and sending a daily summary every morning. Or you can also use it for lead generation. Let's say you want to research across various websites, connecting to maybe LinkedIn APIs or something to get your target leads. It can do that for you. It can do an end-to-end ticket triaging. Let's say you have a lot of tickets connected, which are coming onto your Jira. You can analyze those tickets, comment on them, give a summary. All these things can be set up. You can build chatbots who you can talk to. You can build content using it because it has good connection to any of the LLM models. And also you can build fully autonomous multi-agent workflows where you have multiple agents doing specific tasks, and you can orchestrate the entire thing. So small to complex applications can be built on N8N. And this session will be really focusing on building really simple ones so that the fundamentals are strong. I will take a pause here. Any questions? Yeah, please go, Dalish.
Yeah, I have a question. You talk about NLP, right?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
You
we
talk
can hear.
about NLP, right?
We are talking about N8N, but
no. My question is that you talk about NLP
yeah.
before, right?
Yes.
Yeah. My question is that how it is possible that agents or AI can know the natural language, like whatever language you send message, or it will respond with that language. How it is possible to read and learn our language at the same time and so fast. Agent and the tools that AI use to interpret our language or anything else.
Yes, of course. So most of these LLM models are trained on multiple languages, like ranging from English, Japanese, Hindi, like multiple Indian local languages as well. And they use a transcribing function which can transcribe your normal text, sent in any language. So where it detects the language and transcribes it to English and then into machine language, and uses that, then generates the response and gives it back to you using the same transcribe function into your local language, whichever you type it. So all these models have been trained on multiple languages.
Yes, thank you. I got.
Okay. Hey, Farza, go ahead. Okay. Farza, if you don't have a raised hand, I think you have a raised hand. Like, if you don't have any questions, we can move on then. Okay. Cool. Yeah, Shivaji, I'll hand it over to you. You can take care of the next session on prompt
Yeah,
and context engineering.
just a second. Yeah, I'll take over.
Hello, can you hear us? Hello.
Hey, hi, Farja.
Yeah. So I wanted to understand if N8N has web crawling or browser automation connectors or things like that. So if you want to give like a generic question saying that, hey, I want to find this information from the web, or maybe let's say I'm looking for some specific information from a website where you need to log in and retrieve some information. So can I have connectors which says log into this website, then pull in this information? Is
Uh,
a general purpose automations like that possible?
Good question. No, short answer is no for browser-based automations where it's actually interacting with your browser, logging in, and trying to extract information. But if you want to do some kind of web crawling, yes, that is possible. Like let's say you wanted to go to a particular, let's say a blog and access all the articles from that blog. So there are tools within N8N which does that for you. It can do that, but simple browser-based automations no. So for that, you can use probably Comet, which allows you to do browser-based automations, or ChatGPT Atlas, or yeah, there are few of these browser-based automations browsers which are available, which you can do that with. But N8N specifically doesn't do a browser-based automation.
Got it. But from a web crawling perspective, it'll be able to
Yeah.
crawl publicly available websites and maybe format the data into usable, like a
Yes.
CSV or spreadsheets or something, right?
Yes, there are few tools in N8N called they are called Scrapeless and Google SERP, which can crawl websites based on the initial URL you send, or maybe based on the topic you ask it to search on.
Got it. Got it. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Rahul.
Yeah, welcome.
Now let's look at the most important part of dealing with LLMs day in, day out, prompt. I'm sure all of you must have been using GPT multiple times a day, if I'm not wrong, for work purpose and also for any task, automating task, or getting any piece of information for that. So basically, let's look at what are the different types of prompt, how prompting has evolved over time, what needs to be taken into consideration, when you're writing a prompt, all that. So, as in, I'm sure we all started with this sort of prompts, if I'm not wrong. Hey, just write me an email asking my team to provide details about what went wrong with the metrics today. Like, see, there are multiple reasons why this is a bad prompt. The LLM does not have much context. The LLM does not know what exactly we are talking about metrics here. And it just gives you a very generic response. If you're looking this, let me also show you. Yeah. So this is the response that we have received for this. Now let me show you the changes that we keep doing as we keep moving forward. So as I was saying earlier, it's as good as the instructions and the data it has access to. The more context you give it to it, uh, and the better the system understands what you want and what is your requirement. So I made a few changes, gave more context to the LLM. The same again, write an email asking my team to explain why today's food deliveries did not happen as planned, asking a clear breakdown of what happened, why it happened, where exactly the process failed, ask them to share a detailed action plan outlining what will be done to prevent this going forward, all of it. Much more context for the LLM. So yeah. And this is the new email or the draft that the LLM has given us. And just for a comparison, this is without any context. This is with the context. So just to keep it very simple and easy for you to begin with, always you can ask and you can directly ask the LLM agent to give you a prompt rather than you writing something. You set the context, keep it since it also has voice access. You can just talk to it for 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, whatever. give the entire thing, and then ask it to give you the AI prompt, right? Give as much context as possible. What exactly is the work setup that that you are giving the question? What is the level of expertise? What is the expected outcome? How do you want to go about it? All that. And as you must be aware, giving it a set of examples clearly defines how you want the output to be for the LLM. So we have four styles of prompting. Again, if you go online, there could be thousands of styles of prompting, but majorly the prompting can be divided into these four major categories. We'll go one by one. So the first one is clear and direct. What we have seen earlier, provide complete context, give the AI background, specific task, constraints, and what success looks like. So what we have seen earlier is a clear example of clear and straightforward prompt. You give the context and ask it to give you the output. Now, next we are looking at multi-shot, right? So basically in multi-shot, we are giving examples of the output, basically saying, hey, this is how I want the output to be. So now the LLM gives you output in the way that you want it to be rather than going haywire or giving in different types of outputs or not the output how you want it to be. So yeah, this is the prompt under multi-shot that I have given. Desired style, format, quality, subject, breakdown required for today's route delays. This is the example I have given, and this is the output I got. So basically, it's nothing like showing it an example and asking it to give you the outputs in the same format. This is very much useful when you are looking at everyday tasks, everyday automations, things where you have a very specific slash defined output. Next is chain of thought. So chain of thought is nothing but, let's say you solve a puzzle or you have done something in the past, and I come to you and I just ask you, hey, can you please explain me step by step what exactly have you done? So that is exactly what we are looking at chain of thought. So basically we are saying, we are asking the LLM to, hey, can you please walk me through step by step? What is the thought process behind this particular output? This is the output that you are giving me. And, this actually helps a lot. Probably from the next time moving forward, when you are interacting with LLM, when you are giving any prompts, doing anything on those lines, always add a line, walk me through it step by step. So here, again, this is a prompt example for chain of thought. Provide a short number rational describing the specific investigative steps you would like to ask the team to take and produce the email. And here is an output. Step by step, what exactly has it done and the final email. From my personal experience, what I have seen, this helps to a great extent. I would strongly advise all of you to add this one simple line when you are asking it for any task, anything. Just ask it, please walk me through it step by step.
Shivaji, Ansh has a raised hand.
Sorry?
There is a raised hand. Ansh has a raised hand. Ansh,
Okay.
please go ahead.
Hey, Shivaji, so my question here is, how
Yeah.
does this differ from the feature that has, kind of come up in AI tools over the last, say, 6 to 12 months, where they explain to you your thinking when you
Hmm.
press a button, like say in a chat GPT, because that's the one I'm most familiar with. I've not used anything else. But ChatGPT has a thinking mode where you can click a button and it will show you exactly what steps it is following, what logic it is using to come up with whatever output it comes with.
Right, right.
So just wanted to understand, what is your opinion of how significantly different this is from that feature? And so if I am happy with that feature, do I need to employ this then?
Yes, definitely. Uh, Even if you're happy with the future, I would strongly advise you to add one that single line to all the prompts, because what is being shown there, again, from my personal experience, what I keep using all these on everyday basis: Gemini, Claude, and GPT.
Correct.
The thinking mode does explain what is the process that is going in the backend, but the moment you explicitly add the line, hey, walk me through step by step, it takes a, I don't know if I should be saying one step or maybe multiple steps deeper It explains you in a detailed way why it is taking or that particular route in a much better fashion. So though you may look at the thinking process that is being shown to us now, I would strongly advise you to use this.
Okay, understood. I'll try it out
Yeah.
next time.
Yeah, for example, let's say you tell it, can you do a market analysis of India for any topic, like how many people are using AI in India? And then it, in thinking, it might tell, okay, the user has asked me to check for this things, right? But now if you ask it a chain of thought, tell me a chain of thought. Let's say it will tell, I'm assuming that you have asked me for entire India, so I'm checking all the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities, and then goes to the next step. But now let's say you wanted only for tier 1 cities, then you can be like, hey, wait, no, I just want it for tier 1 cities. So again, it will change it, so you know a bit more detailed about what it was trying to ask, and you can interject it at every step and change the downstream process further based on your input.
Understood. So basically, we'll get more clarity on what assumptions and data sources which it is pointing at compared to, say, just the baseline descriptions which come in the thinking mode.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. Thank you.
So next we have role-based. I'm sure I think most of you must have again used the role-based prompting style, where we explicitly tell the agent, hey, get into the shoes of marketing manager, get into the shoes of ops manager, or get into the shoes of, let's say, creative or writer, anything on those lines, right? So basically, we are narrowing down the thought process of LLM and by assigning it a very specific role. So it's like, as we were discussing earlier, someone, I think Vamshi was asking us, right, rather than having one agent do multiple things, have one agent do only one thing, where, for sure shot, the success rate is very high or maybe 100%. So the moment you assign a role to any AI agent, it does narrow down the thinking process, thought process, but the success rate goes up by a lot. So here, the same example what we were looking earlier. So I have made changes to the prompt here, and I have mentioned you are the senior operations manager responsible for end-to-end food delivery performance across procurement, delivery stats, and all of that. And here is my output. Any questions, guys, before we move to the next part?
Yeah, there's a raised hand by Fatal and KG.
Okay.
Fatalisha, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I have a question about a self-driving car. You know that it is, my question is that the self-driving car will gather information visually from nature or the data has been embedded before, like in Dubai. Like self-driving car can, take one person from one place to another place. This data will be captured in the environments or has been embedded this data by the company, or maybe in Dubai. Just my question is that the self-driving car will gather information visually from the environment or the data embedded before in it.
It can be
So
both. So it can be trained on all the data it has received before, and when it is driving, it can take from the real-time visuals which it is seeing. So that's the difference between having something trained earlier on a lot of data of the past, which is like a system generated training, and the other part is like real time, on time, like on demand input, which it is getting, like the visual things. Yeah, KGR, please go ahead.
Hello, I'm audible, right?
yeah,
Yeah. So my my question is not about this like rule base and the chain of thought thing. So right now is coming updating day by day. We seen that ChatGPT 5 went and now it came ChatGPT 5.5 5.1 model.
Right.
So we are using JSON format to understanding very well, and some are using like markdown format and the thing. So
Right.
and some are saying that XML prompting is very best prompting and the thing. So what we can choose based on that perfect model right now updating it.
So see again the from model to model. Okay, to give you something from my recent experience. So I've been playing with voice agents for almost close to 3-4 months. Okay, so I was using retail and VP. So VP had a specific set of input. VP was working well if I gave the inputs in JSON format. So that
Okay.
was VP friendly. But the moment
Okay.
I shifted to retail AI, it was plain simple English NLP. So retail
Okay.
was able to understand NLP. So based on the platform that you are using, based on the model that you are using, I think there are model-friendly formats that you should that you should move forward with. There is no one single format that works with all.
Okay. Okay. I understand.
Yeah.
Thank you for clearing this.
And probably you can get this information online directly. Let's say
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
using Claude or whatever, just ask
Community
it
and
like, what is the friendly format that I should give inputs as? That's all.
yeah. Sure, sure.
So we'll move forward to the next part where we'll talk about context engineering versus prompt engineering. So prompt engineering was what it started and it used to be earlier. Now everyone is moving towards context engineering. So in a very simplest possible terms, prompt engineering is nothing but you give the input and ask for something, as in you ask for something, basically saying that whatever that we have done in the previous examples, asking you to draft an email, you just give the input and ask for whatever the requirement. Context is you set up the entire surroundings, making sure that, for example, going back to the same example, prompt engineering, we were saying that you are operations manager, the metrics haven't been met today, draft an email why the metrics have not been met. Context engineering is, so I'll set up at, hey, you're an operations manager, you deal with maybe some 500 million logistical um, this revenues or monthly things that you have to deal with. And let's say you are in food delivery, and maybe you have 5 people in ops under you, 5 people in marketing under you. These are the metrics that you should be looking at on everyday basis at the end of the day, and these are your targets that you should be hitting 99% or 98%. All this is setting the entire context. So I give this context to the agent, and now any question that I ask, that could be drafting an email, that could be looking at reports, anything. So now, since I have set up the entire surrounding or the everything, whatever the question that I ask completely aligns with the environment that I have set up, and it comes, the response comes in aligned to that rather than going here and there. So just to give you one more example, prompt is nothing but, hey, build me a red car. That's all. Simple, straightforward, a clear instruction, and it gives you a red car. Context engineering is basically we are saying the LLM model, hey, I'm giving you a table with red Lego pieces. There are also alloy small wheels, race car shape guides, and a rule saying it must fit inside a small box of 4x4 size. So this is all the context that I'm setting up. Now, the moment I say build a car, by default, it builds me a car which is in red color, which has small alloy wheels, and also which is of size, which can fit in size 4x4. So prompt is nothing but the sentence that you type or the input that we are giving. Context is everything that shapes how the AI thinks before giving you the output. Yeah. So this is a prompt. The one that we are seeing on the left is a prompt, straightforward, simple prompt. Write an email, ask my operations team to explain why today's food deliveries did not happen as planned. That's all. Simple, straightforward. Here we are setting up the context. hey, you are the senior operations manager responsible for end-to-end delivery operations, quality bar, crisp operational breakdowns, clear accountability, all this. And now comes the prompt. Draft today's escalation email regarding failed food deliveries. Not only just this, now since I have given the context, I can ask it anything, and the output always aligns with whatever the environment that I have set up. Any questions here? Okay. Rahul will take it forward from here. We'll go into building blocks of N8N, and over the time we'll start building a couple of agents. Yeah.
Sure. Thanks, Shivaji. I'm sharing my screen. Okay. Thank you for that. Now let's get into development, right? But before we just get in, let me talk about the building blocks of N8N. And these are not building blocks of just N8N, but any no-code platform or any even coding platform, right? And these have been the building blocks for ages. And it's just that with N8N, it's much more visual and we can see what is happening. So for any workflow automation to trigger, right now we are going into the space of building workflow automations. So basically you have a lot of redundant tasks which you're doing on a daily basis, you want to automate it, or your company is doing a lot of redundant tasks which are being done on a daily basis, you want to automate it, or there are some manual tasks which need some quality improvements where you can do an automation and embed a smart layer onto it, making the quality better. So we are going into the area of workflow automations right now. And for any workflow automation to start, it needs a trigger. So trigger is number one building block. So the trigger can be as simple as a schedule of running every day at 9 a.m. or as simple as a human triggering it, or based on some change in the external environment, it needs to trigger, maybe when a message is received. Then the second one is action nodes. And these are nodes which perform certain actions like updating Google Sheets, or fetching the weather report, or sending a WhatsApp message, or triggering a call or to a user, or updating a database. Any kind of action can be done by an action node. Then the third one is data transformation node. So in N8N or any coding platform or any no-code platform, right, mostly the data, when you fetch from one source, let's say you're fetching data from Google Sheets and you want to process it and combine it and make a Instagram caption out of it. So data lies in different formats, and it's very important for you to transform data from one format to another so that it is acceptable by the next node, or maybe you want to do some filtering, or maybe you want to sort the data. So any sort of that, we have standard data transformation nodes available on N8N. Then comes external communication nodes. So external communication nodes are anything but when you want to your workflow to communicate with something outside of N8N. Like maybe the action nodes are actually not available on N8N, but you need to make API calls. Let's say you want to fetch the latest stock prices. Maybe you want to call Zero the APIs or Grow APIs, or maybe you want to check your portfolio. You want to call their APIs. So N8N has enough capabilities for you to easily connect to various APIs and fetch certain information. So you'll have an API key, you'll have the API header and body, and you can use it to call an external API and fetch certain information. So this is to communicate with the external environment. Then we have something called AI agent nodes, and these are to interact with AI. So when you have certain automations in place and you want to add a smart layer to it, that's where you can connect AI agent nodes easily, connect your data to an LLM model, and take a smart decision so that you are enhancing your normal automation with a smart layer. And then, of course, databases. Once you're done with this automation, you're either fetching data from certain databases or you're putting data into certain databases. So here there are two types of databases. One is a traditional one where it's a simple structured database which you can access through SQL queries. Or let's say Google Sheets also can be a database of certain information, or vector databases, and that is coming in popularity right now. And vector databases are nothing but databases which you can do semantic searches on. By semantic searches, I mean if you are searching for something, let's say you're searching for something on Amazon's app, and you're just asking for, can I get birthday gifts? So it's going to understand what are the various products and give you the closest match in terms of birthday gifts. So it not only can do with text, it can do with images, videos. That's how Google image search works. All these are stored in a vector database, and that's how when you search for an image, it's able to give you relevant images. So these are the building blocks of N8N. I'll walk you through each of these quickly over a minute and also show you a small example also how these work. So starting with triggers, these are the different types of triggers. One which triggers manually, one which triggers on an app event. Let's say there's a new record added to a Google Sheet, then it can trigger. Or let's say there's a new WhatsApp message received, it can trigger. Or let's say the stock market has opened up, that can be trigger. Or something like on schedule, every day at 9 a.m. it can trigger an automation. Or a webbook call. Basically, webbook calls are nothing but it's listening to certain events happening, and once that event happens, it can trigger. So it's very similar to on app event. On form submission, when a user submits a form, let's say for the same N8N workshop, right, we had circulated forms. So the moment you have submitted your form, maybe we could have set up an automation where you get a welcome email. So there are multiple different types of triggers. Let me show you an example on N8N itself. So this is the N8N UI, and this is the canvas where you can build stuff. Here I've already set up few triggers. So this is the add node button, and here you can see that everything is really visual, right? So all these are various nodes connected to each other, so you can really visualize what is happening. So if I click on start and add another trigger, you can see all the various triggers. I've already added one of the triggers here called when executing workflow. So this is a manual trigger. So the moment I click this, it's going to call the next nodes. So here I have connected it to Google Sheets. I'll explain all that later. But the point here I wanted to talk was, if you want to manually trigger a workflow, you can do it by executing a workflow. There is another type of trigger called schedule trigger. So you just click on it. You can just tell when you want it to trigger. Every day at midnight, or every week, or every minute, or every second. So it's as easy as, it's very intuitive. Basically, the UI, you can easily select all these options. And then there's another called Google Sheets trigger. So the moment a new record is added to Google Sheets, it will trigger. So it says, right, trigger on row added, and it polls every minute. So every minute it keeps checking if there are new sheets added to Google Sheets. And the moment it happens, it can trigger an email or trigger a process. Yeah, Ansh, you had a raised hand.
Do tell me if this is a question which you will cover later as well. Basically, I am asking about if you could open that Google Sheets trigger for 1 second. I had a question about that, because where you are saying that you are polling every single minute.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, sorry, it was, I think, the third one. Yeah. So where you're polling every single minute, is this something which will lead into, a bucket of credits, or is this something which will lead into some sort of API call limit? Basically, I just wanted to know what limitation do we have on this, because it's a kind of a use case which I find quite relevant in my field of work, because I work in revenue operations here. So we can have various kind of triggers. Like, say if there's a particular account. So I mean, for context, I work in ad tech. So spends come in by the second, by the minute, basically, that we earn. We track our revenue by the day. So I'm saying there is a particular advertiser, say that Coca-Cola had spent $1,000 with us yesterday, but instead of $1,000, it has spent, like, say I set a 10% threshold, it has seen a day-on-day decline of 10%. So say it's at 900. Now, if I want to use that automation and, constantly poll the database of, spends data, that okay, today Coke is 900, yesterday it was 1000, 10% change. So send a trigger to someone, say a Slack message to an account manager saying that okay, your advertiser has dropped by a big amount. Just take a look at it, reach out to them, that kind of stuff. So again, sorry, convoluted explanation, but my question is
Got your
fundamentally
explanation.
credits and
Yeah,
usage.
yeah.
How will it work in this scenario?
Got it. It's a good question. And short answer is no, it doesn't eat up your credits. It's only going to charge or perform an execution every time it meets that certain threshold. But the point where you're checking the threshold every second, it's still going to check it. So it's going to make that API call to check the current price of Coke or the current stock price of Coke or whatever you meant, right? So
Yeah.
it's going to check that, but the final execution where it's going to send a Slack message, it's not going to do it, or that the downstream part of it is not going to get triggered unless it meets those conditions. And let's say you have set up, like for example, this Google Sheets option, right? Google Sheets takes care of sending a message to N8N because this node has been set every time I make a change. So N8N is going to be listening for Google Sheets, the message every minute, but it's not going to eat up any credits or eat up any like any cost, right? But the moment that message, it's called simple notification service or whatever Google calls it, right? They send a message to N8N saying that a row has been added.
Okay.
That's when N8N triggers. So until that happens, it's not going to cost you. So similarly, for the prices which you are monitoring, if it is like you need to trigger every minute and check for the price, it's going to charge you for it. But if the upstream platform is going to send you that message every time it meets a threshold, you are not going to get charged for it.
Understood. Got it. All right. Thank you. So basically, when the trigger conditions are met, so it's effectively outputting a true, that's when it gets charged.
Correct.
Thank you.
So yeah, these are different. Yeah, Fazza, go ahead. You have a raised hand.
Yeah, hi. Okay, so what I'm wondering is about the LLM integration part of the workflow, right? Like, I mean, workflows are not a new concept. We had these no-code platforms from like 5, 7, multiple years back, right? So what does the LLM integration part of it, where does it come in, right? Because my initial assumption was that we would be able to prompt it into building the whole workflows as well. Like just by prompt say that, hey, go to this spreadsheet, read this, do this, and then it would build the workflows. But right now it looks like we are building the business rules manually using all the nodes and triggers and all. So I'm trying to figure out exactly where we get the benefit of LLM. And are we just using one LLM node to maybe parse the data? Is that where it comes in? So I'm just trying to figure out.
It's a good question, Fazza. So AI can be either used for building an application, or AI can be used on runtime when the application is running. So N8N allows you the feature where you can build applications also through it. So for example, if I go to create workflow, there are two methods. I can either do it manually or build with AI. So when I hit build with AI, I can give it a prompt exactly what I want it to do. I want to create a chatbot which can connect to an AI agent which is connected to my Google Sheets. I'm giving a very simple prompt, but better the prompt, better the output. And also one suggestion which Shivaji also suggested was like you give the prompt, give it to ChatGPT, let's say. Then once ChatGPT gives the prompt, you feed it here. So, but now that just for the sake of the call, I'm just showing it. I've just given it a very simple prompt here. And you see that it is working. It is trying to, you can see it's thinking as well, like it's categorizing, seeing best practices. So now it's doing something, it's still working. So it has created all the nodes which it needs. And you see that the workflow is done. So it's as simple as that. And you see that there are a few red marks. Basically, it doesn't know where your Google Sheet data is, all that. But you can see how simple it was to create a workflow just by chatting with it. So that is one step where you can use AI to build a workflow. The second step where you can use AI in your workflow is this example where so let's say that the same Google Sheet. So here, what my idea was that when I click the workflow, it opens a Google Sheets which has some details about customers and sends them a welcome message. So here it will be a simple welcome message, but here in this workflow, I've added an AI agent in between to give a more personalized welcome message. So you can use AI within the workflow as well. I'll come to that part shortly.
Yeah, I think the first part was what I was wondering about. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Welcome. Okay. So triggers is one thing. The next one is action nodes. So basically, when you want to perform certain action, and here the getting rows from Google Sheets, sending an email, all these are action nodes. And N8N has integration with 4,000 plus action nodes. 4,000 was about like 2 weeks back when I checked. The number keeps changing. Like it's definitely more than that. And you can see it has too many, right? It has too many like SaaS companies which it has integration with. So name a company and mostly it is going to be there. And even if it is not there, you can make a custom API call to talk to these nodes, talk to these external companies. So we cover triggers, then action nodes. Then we have HTTP API calls or MCPs. And I think MCP is something which you might be hearing a lot. There's a lot of confusion about what an MCP server is. And again, it's very important to know what an MCP server is. So it's very similar to HTTP API requests, but there's a difference. I will talk about it. So API, I think most of us are aware, but if not, API is nothing but for a system to communicate with another system, either get certain information from another system or share certain information to another system. Let's say you are sending an email. You are sending an email, and to send an email, a certain like set of parameters need to be sent, such as the sender you're sending to, the body, the header, etc. And all these are part of the API call to send an email. So you call something like send an email and put all these parameters, it will send an email. So APIs are pretty standardized and it has a simple structure. But when it comes to MCP, MCP is mainly for agents. And when you give an agent access to an MCP server, let's say MCP server of Google Calendars, and you just tell that agent, hey, can you cancel the call I have tomorrow at 12 p.m. Given that it has access to all the APIs which Google Calendar has, like searching for your calendar, canceling the event, sending a confirmation email saying that the event has been cancelled, it will decide what set of APIs to call and it will do it itself. But if the same thing you have to do it using traditional API calls, you would need to do it one step at a time. First, search for the calendar, search for all your events for tomorrow, check what is at 12 p.m., then go cancel it, then send the confirmation. So APIs would be, you have to do traditionally where step by step, whereas with an MCP, you allow an agent to do anything. So if you want to give an analogy to it, for a human, the website is what you interact with. So if I had to do it manually, I would go to the website, go to calendar, search, cancel everything, right? But the same thing, translation for an agent's website is the MCP server. So it allows an agent to communicate with an external system by doing a bunch of API calls, and it is smart enough to understand which API calls to do because it is connected to the MCP server. MCP server is nothing but a good documentation of all the API calls, which, let's say in this case, Google Calendar has. Okay. Sorry. Then we have data transformation nodes. These are really simple ones. So if you, so when you see the example here, let me. So yeah, here there's an example of an HTTP request. So I'm trying to get data about Reliance shares from Upstocks. Upstocks is an API, it's a stock brokerage platform which has their own APIs which gives information. So all I needed to do was just give the URL to access this. Now the same URL I put on my website, it gives all the details. Like this is the stock price, open, close, all these things it gives. So similarly, if I wanted to call it through N8N, I can use a HTTP request, give the URL. This one doesn't require any password or API key, so I'm able to easily do it. So if I do an execute steps, it gives all this. It gives like a good result of all the things which I want. But sometimes the results which it gives might be junk. So I like not junk, not everything might be junk, but I just need certain information, but it's giving me a lot of information. I just need maybe the latest price. I don't need all the history of prices, right? So N8N, what it does is it gives everything in a JSON format. You can see this is a JSON format, and it's very easy to visualize because you can see the previous node's input. Then you have the processing which happens here and the output. So input, processing, output, and you see the HTTP request has given this output. But I want to clean up this data. So I can use a split out function, which is a data transformation node. So this is the input to the split out function, and when you execute it, it has cleaned it up. I've removed all this other data, status, etc., which is of no value to me. I still have all this information, but let's say I want to limit to only the first 3 items. I can still do it. Again, another data transformation node. So data transformation nodes are core parts of N8N, which allows you to do these kind of small data transformation. So then we have AI agents. We will cover that during the hands-on session, and then we have databases. So I'll take a pause here because I want to spend some time on the hands-on session as well. Any questions here? And if you have not registered for N8N, I think now would be a good time to do it. I'll just paste the link because let's try to build an agent together. Okay.
So, folks, out
Just
of all the things that were explained, I think APIs would be. I come from a non-tech background. I had no understanding. Once you get a hang of APIs, it's very fun to play with it and integrate different websites and do a lot of crazy things.
yeah. Okay. Let's try to build our first agent, but before that, just a show of hands if everyone has N8N. Like, if not, you can easily go to n8n.io and register. It's a quick 2-minute process. Yeah, and Stuart.
No, you asked to raise your hand if you have any.
Oh,
right?
okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Okay. I see a few raised hands are there. I think a lot of folks have installed N8N. So let's try to create a workflow which can create a chatbot connected to a Google Sheets to help me plan my weekend in Bangalore. So this is the thing which I thought about, and let me just share. This is a synthetic data Excel which I prepared. Like this might not be the real great plans in Bangalore, but I'm just sharing it. Just let me know if you do not have access to this. I've provided the access. Yeah, everyone should be having access when you open the link. Okay, so the idea here is we will create a chatbot, and the chatbot is connected to this Google Sheets, and it will help you plan your weekend based on the type of activities you want, right? So all you need to do is hit on create workflow. Now you have the empty canvas, and building with AI is also great, but there's no learning in it at the moment. Like, I mean, once you're comfortable with N8N, definitely build with AI, and then you can optimize it. But when you want to really learn how N8N works, right, building it manually really helps, or else it builds something and you have no idea what it has built. So let's try to do it manually. And here we are trying to make a chatbot. So the trigger would be a chat message sent, right? And N8N has the inbuilt chat for us to test things. So all you need to do is hit on add first step and create a chat trigger. So you can just add it. Yeah, I've added it. Like, let me know like if I'm going too fast as well. And I mean, the goal of it is that you guys have built an agent yourself by the end of the session. So it's not more about theoretical or a demo, more hands-on, right? So I've created a chat node. Now I can just test it out. Like I can open chat and you'll be able to type anything here. Like if I say hi, it's not going to return me anything because it's not connected to anything. It's just returning me the response which I've sent. That's not what I want. But it's a good place for you to just type any message and chat with it. Now, the next step would be for us to connect it to an AI agent to process the message which I am sending. So because I'm sending it in free-flowing text, you need an AI layer on top of it so that it understands what I'm sending. So what I need to do here is I need to again add a new node. So it's so easy to add a new node, and it's right next to the previous node which I added. You have the plus icon. You add an AI agent, and I've added this AI agent. Okay, now it's just an AI agent node at the moment. Yeah, Vamsi has a raised hand, I think.
Yeah, nothing. Sorry, I was
Okay.
just adding that by mistake.
Okay.
Rahul,
So-
for the first step, what did you type just to add that chat message received?
Yeah, just click on plus here.
Okay.
And then search for chat. You can see chat trigger. You can add that.
Okay.
Able to get it? And the second step is AI agent. You search for AI agent. Okay. Now,
Hey Rahul, couple of things here. So when we add there, it asks for a couple of options like add field, allow file uploads, allow file, MIME types, response mode.
correct.
What do we do
Yeah.
there?
So right now you don't need to do anything. So right now it's a simple chat. So, but if you want it access to uploading file or something, you can enable it. But right now I don't want it, so you don't need to add it.
Got
But
it.
these are extra things which you can do in the future, and in a more technical session I can probably explain that further. But for now we can just have a simple
Understood.
chat message
And you
agent.
also tried to execute it out and see what happens. How do we do that?
So you can see open chat here, right, on the bottom.
Yeah,
So right now you can just send a message to it.
understood. Okay, clear.
It's like a playground for you to test out your workflow right now. And now, like, I've connected this AI agent, but right now it's a like dummy node, so it's probably going to fail because it is connected to this AI agent, but AI agent needs to be connected to an LLM model. So I'll tell you how to connect to an LLM model, and I'll just share the link of Google AI Studio. So Google Gemini gives some free APIs for us to test out things. So probably you guys can go to Google Studio, the link I shared, log into your account. Then on the bottom left, right, on the left nav bar, you'll be able to see get API key. So let me know once you have logged into Google AI Studio. So the process here is to get an API key so that you can add an LLM layer. You can also add OpenAI LLM or Claude LLM, but those are paid. Google gives it for free, so easier for users to test out things. So you can click on Get API Key, and so are you guys able to log into Google here? Log into the Google AI Studio. I hope you're able to do
Yes.
it. Okay. You can go to API key and create API key, and you can give it some name, test, and it'll mostly ask you to create a project. Just create a project, test project. And once that is created, you can create the key. So key has been created. This is my key. I can just copy it. So let me know if you guys have got your key. I'll take a pause for like a minute. Shivaji, probably in the chat, if you can create polls as well, right? It will be easy for people to tell this. Right now, probably can ask if API key has been created.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. Okay, I think few of them are created. So ensure you copy it and now go back to your workflow. Now you see chat model here, right? So basically we are adding a LLM model to this AI agent. Right now it's just a dummy agent with no brain. Now we are adding the brain, which is the LLM model. And here we have access to a lot of LLM models, but we only have the API key for Google Gemini, right? So search for Gemini here after clicking the chat model plus sign. So you'll be able to see Google Gemini chat model. You need to select on that. Okay. Added it. Now after adding that, you'll be seeing a drop down here with create new credential. So this is the step where you add your API key. So you click on create new credential and there's already some pre-filled thing here, the host, and then you paste your API key. So you have pasted it and you need to save it. So the moment you save it, your API key has been added to N8N's Gemini chat model. So you'll see that now the AI agent is connected to your chat model. Okay. Okay. Now, right now, your agent is connected to a chat model, but it has no context about what is happening. Like it's just another AI agent, right? We are talking about a conversation where we need to ideate about things to do in Bangalore. But right now, it is just a general purpose AI agent. So if you say hi, probably it's going to reply hi back. So it's connected to the Google API. It's replying. So right now, actually, you're connected to Gemini, and you're able to chat with it, and you can chat about anything with it. But that's not the purpose of what we're trying to achieve. So, but the thing is that, like, given that it is connected, it's able to respond back to you. But now we want it to focus on exploring this Google Sheets, right? So what I need to do is I need to connect it to a tool. Okay. And here the tool would be the Google Sheets tool. So I clicked on tool and I clicked on Google Sheets. Now I have created it, but now I need to link my Google Sheets to it. So again, I need to create a new credential. So earlier I had created a credential for accessing Gemini. now a credential for accessing Google Sheets. So basically, every action node you connect with, you need to create a new credential so that you have giving it permissions to access it. Arpita, you had a question?
Yeah, so I'm getting an error. I'll tell you exactly what it is.
Same here.
It says bad request. Please check your parameters. Once I put my API key for the Google Gemini chat model agent.
Okay. Showing bad request, is it?
Yep.
So did you get something like this where it showed the credentials has been created, or you're getting bad request on the screen?
I'm getting bad request on the screen.
Okay. You copied the
API key.
API key by clicking on this, right? Copy API key.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, wait, no. Like I just clicked on the key. I'll just check it once more again.
Is anyone else getting the same issue?
Yeah, I have the same issue.
Okay, so what I'll do for now is I'll share the API key which I created. Maybe there was some extra thing on Google AI Studio which I had to do. I'll just try to figure that out. I'll just share the API key here. You can probably use the one which I have copied. So anyway, a test one.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's okay.
Now it's working. Okay.
Working for me as well.
Okay, got it. So I think probably because I had set up something before, it's recognized. It has allow listed my API key.
No, actually,
but
I
then-
think I just copied from key, and I didn't use
Okay.
I copied there, so I think that's why.
Okay.
No, I did the same thing you did, but yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Cool. The next step would be connecting the Google Sheets. So Google Sheets, getting your credential is much easier than the Gemini API key. You just need to create new credential and just sign in with Google. So you sign in and give it permission. Yeah, connection is successful. So are everyone able to connect with Google Sheets? Okay. Now the goal here is the AI agent should have access to get data from Google Sheets. So you can see there are multiple operations you can allow it access to: append row, update row, delete, create, etc. I don't want it to do all that. I just wanted to give permissions to get details. So I'm going to select get rows and operations, and then I need to select my sheet. So the sheet name is things to do in Bangalore. I think everyone will be able to see that in the drop down because they have joined it. And I'll also be able to, I need to choose the sheet name. Like under a spreadsheet, there might be multiple sheets. Currently, this one has only one sheet, but I still need to select it. So you have connected your Google Sheets to your AI agent. Okay. And you can connect it with multiple tools. You see that while I can connect only to one chat model, I can connect with multiple tools. Although I connected one tool, I'm still able to connect. Let's say I want to connect it to maybe Gmail, which allows me to send an email to the user. I can do that as well. So, is everyone on the same page now? Okay. Now,
Sorry, I missed a bit. I was struggling with creating the API for Sheets. So after selecting the things to do in Bangalore, I can just click execute.
No. So you have selected things to do in Bangalore and selected the sheet, right? So
yeah.
you don't need to click execute, just go back. You can select execute also, but it's not. It's just going to return the rows like. But you
Okay.
can use it to test it out that if things it's actually executing, getting the data from Google Sheets.
Got it.
And an important thing in chat agents is that memory, right? Now, for example, I said hi, and I said I'm good. How are you? It's not going to have context about this hi because I've not attached a memory node. So it's important for you to give that AI agent access to the memory of the chat agent. So it's nothing complicated. You just add a simple memory node. You add it and give the context in the window length. Like let's say I want access it to access the last 10 messages. So now it has access to it. So it's just a simple memory node. What happens is, let's say I'm planning this trip, and in the first message I say I want a chill outing on a Saturday afternoon. In the next message I say I would preferably want dinner. Now I would preferably want to have dinner after the outing in the evening, right? It won't have context about the previous message sent. So that's why we need to add a simple memory node so that it has access to your conversation. So now that I've set up all these things, it has access to this, it has access to this, but I've not given the AI agent a persona or set of instructions on what it needs to do. So what I need to do here is I need to click on AI agent and click on under options, click on system message, basically giving it a persona, saying that this is your job. Right now it is still it's a general purpose chatbot with access to that Google Sheets. But now I want to give it a persona as well and tell what's your goal. So for that I have created a system prompt. You can refer to it. And again, this prompt was generated by ChatGPT. It's nothing complicated about this prompt. So what I'm saying here is you're a weekend plan recommendation assistant. Your job is to guide user towards the perfect weekend plan. You have access to the Google Sheets tool, your behavior rules. The sheet name contains all these things, same as what the sheet name contains. Then ask for key preferences, not ask for it together, not by one. So I'm just giving it some guidance, like, okay, what it needs to ask, all that, and ask 1 or 2 follow-up questions, and then suggested recommendations. And also, I've also asked it, like, once the user has finalized the plan, ask for their email address so that they can send an email. So, but right now, if you see, I've mentioned here, like, after user selects the final plan, begin the email flow where you ask for the email. After they provide a short written email, use the Gmail tool to send the email. But I've not connected any Gmail tool. So let me do that as well. So right now it has access to only one tool, which is the Google Sheets tool, right? So let me add the Gmail tool as well.
Rahul, actually, I'm stuck at Google Sheet. Can you just show me the parameters once again, because it is giving me some error. I'm not able to execute that step.
Okay. So just check the parameters once.
Yeah.
Have you filled in document and sheet?
Yes.
Operation is get rows.
Yes.
What error is it giving?
So when I'm clicking on execute step, it is saying cannot read properties of undefined reading disabled.
Okay, so have you joined that? Like, have you connected your API key by creating a credential? Not API key, but have you signed in?
No, I've not created create new credentials.
Yeah,
Okay.
you need to do that. You need to do that and sign in to your email ID, which has access to this sheet.
Okay.
Okay, it's simple, like clicks where you sign in and give N8N permissions. Okay. So similarly, let me add the Gmail node. Again, it's very simple to add the Gmail node. You click on tool and then you search for Gmail, add it, and then again you need to create credential, do the same process, sign in with Google. But now you must be getting the hang of it, that with every action node, you need to sign in and give it permissions. It's pretty simple. Created. Now the goal here is once the plan is made, I need to send an email, right? So I need to find the two. I need to find the subject and the message. Now, how will I know who am I sending to, or what is the subject, or what is the message? So the N8N has a feature where, since it's connected to an AI agent, you can let AI determine it. So you see this icon here. If you click on it, model will decide whom to send it to. And how is it going to decide whom to send it to? Because it's going to ask in the chat. So similarly, model will decide the subject. Model will decide the message. So I've just clicked on these three things. Again, is everyone able to follow up on this one? Follow on this one? Okay. If anyone's stuck, just let me know. So now I've connected all this, and now I need to give my system prompt to this AI agent. So let me copy this up and go to my AI agent, and under system message, let me add it. I just pasted it. And again, like, you can ask ChatGPT only to generate this prompt. For now, you can copy the one which I have pasted on the chat. So now all these things have been set up. Now all I need to do is open chat and talk to it. So let me talk to it. Hi. So now it's not going to give me a generic response. Great. Before I suggest weekend plans, could you tell me your preferences? So I'm going to say I want cafe hopping on Sunday evening. So I've given it something. So now I've also told it ask 1 or 2 follow-up questions only. So it's asking me, okay, do you want it indoor, outdoor? What is the vibe? What is your budget? I'll just say like indoor would do, and budget of 700 to 1,000. So I've given it this. My mistake, I clicked on disable agent, so that's why it disabled. You see how it is executing, and you can visually see what's happening as well, right? So it's calling the Gemini API, it's extracting data from sheets. All these things is pretty visual. So yeah, it has suggested me, okay, you can go to Garuda Mall for cafe hopping. So probably it's assuming that since I said indoor, right, do cafe hopping within the mall. And okay, missed this part, where to enter the prompt. Okay, so where to enter the prompt is you need to go to AI agent and click on add option and select system message, and under that you add it. Okay.
Rahul, could you just walk through the Gmail bit once again?
Yeah,
Sorry, I was a bit confused with that one.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I went through it a bit fast. So you add the tool, click on Gmail. Like, so when you click on add a tool, you search for Gmail. You have the Gmail tool. And once the Gmail tool has been added, you ensure that you create new credential, do the same process of signing in. And then you have some few parameters to fill, to subject and message, right?
Right.
So there, instead of defining the parameter, you let AI define the parameter. So you see this icon, you click on it. So
Understood.
based on the chat, AI will decide what is the subject, what is the message, all these things.
So how will it decide a recipient? Because I have logged in with my email. Is there a risk of it randomly sending emails to unknown?
No. So it's going, in the system prompt, I've asked it to ask for the email ID. That's how it's going to decide. Okay.
Got it.
So now I've it has suggested me this. I'll be like, okay, great. You can finalize this. Now it knows okay, I finalized my decision. What's your email address? This is where it asks. So I'm just going to give my email address 18696@gmail.com. So I've given it. So now that it has information to send an email, it's going to send an email. So your weekend plan has been sent to this email address. So let me open my email. Yeah, this is your weekend cafe hopping plan, which I got like 0 minutes ago. So it has sent all these things. So pretty simple to create it, and like of course I went a bit fast, but if you spend like few hours on it, like you'll easily be able to build it, fine tune your system prompt to what you want. And later on, it's very easy to connect this chat model to, let's say, a Telegram or a Slack or WhatsApp. So it's pretty easy to do all these things. Needs a bit of like hand, like try and like hit and trial approach where you keep trying different things, and so that you understand the tool better. So I'll take a pause here. We have one more thing which we wanted to show. So since we have just like 15 to 20 minutes, we can move on to that part, I think, unless anyone has questions specifically on this. Okay. I hope you guys were at least able to get a touch and feel of N8N. Maybe not deployed it, or maybe something not working, but I think you're getting there. But once you get a hang of it, the possibilities are endless. It's just about getting the right idea. So I'll hand it over to Shivaji right now. He'll walk you through the other one.
Cool. Ansh has raised a hand.
No, sorry, it was a mistake.
That's okay, no worries. Thanks for that, Rahul. Guys, next we have again a very simple and straightforward automation that KGR wanted or something, I think. Yeah, KGR.
Yeah, Shivaji, have small doubt, not in N8N also. So right now they are using like ads using with N8N or something, right? Like VO3 APIs.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
KGR, in
Okay.
interest of time, you can put this on chat. I'll try helping you there.
Yeah, sure.
So the next automation that we'll be looking at is a simple Gmail labeling. See, usually what happens is that since all of us are in corporate, we log out at 6 p.m. or some people at 11 p.m. or whatever. The ideal, we usually log out at 6 p.m., right? And we log in again at next day, 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. So we have a lot of emails coming from inside the company. Let's say if you're dealing with external clients, or maybe due to different time zones, we have a lot of emails coming up between this 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. or 9 a.m., right? So what we'll be building is we'll be building a very simple workflow which you can take live in a couple of minutes or max 5 minutes. Basically, what it does is that it reads all the emails that you are getting and then auto labels them based on the priority level: high priority, low priority, medium priority. I'll share the prompts and everything with you. So I have set up some basic, if there is any payment related, if there is any subscription related, if there is anything mentioned in the email, urgent, serious, that would be tagged as high priority. So you can change it however you want. But yeah, let's get to the building part. Just give me a minute. So I'm going to share my screen. So we'll start from scratch. We'll create a new workflow. We'll create a new workflow. trigger, schedule trigger, or days between trigger 1 day, trigger at 8 a.m. every day, right? And then the next is a Gmail node. Mm, get many messages, right? So since I have already connected my Gmail account, it's there already. So I don't need to do it again. Operation get many messages. This you can keep it limit how many emails that you want to be seen here. And you can add different conditions filters here. What I am doing is that read status is what I want to be unread emails only. And along with that, you can keep received after, received before. So ideal case would be received after yesterday time and 6 p.m. But since the email that I have connected to this workflow does not have any emails received, so I'm not using that filter temporarily. I just keep it 100 emails, last 50 emails, 100 last 50 emails. So right. So now it gave me the last 50 emails that I have in my inbox unread. Now I'll connect this to an AI agent. Define below system message. And since we are currently using the Gemini, we'll be using Gemini. So this will be the user message that we will be passing on to the AI agent. So I'm going to copy paste that here. Okay, let's say then just copy paste from here. Next, yeah. Next we have system message. I'll also walk you through what is there in the user message step by step. For now, you can just copy paste it. Okay. So if you look at the output that we
Sir,
have,
could you just show the parameters again, please?
which one?
No, no, not the Gmail one. Basically, what did you configure the AI agent with?
Yeah, I'll come there. Just copy paste for now. I'll walk you through line by line what is there in the prompt.
That goes the first share text you sent. Where does that go? Does that go in the AI agent? Sorry, in
Yeah,
the
in the AI
chat model or the AI agent?
AI agent.
In the user message. The second one goes to the system message.
Got it.
Okay. So the moment I click on get many messages, which listed me last 50 emails. So these are the details that we have. One is the email ID, not the ID that usually we correlate with @gmail.com. This is a different ID. And snippet, what exactly is in the email. Okay. And these are not so important for us. And from whom we got the email. Two is what is the email that we have. This is our a consulting company email that we use. So that is what we connected. So all the two are sent by guides you, right? Now going back to the AI agent, let's go one by one. User message. So read the snippet. Snippet is nothing but basically what is the content of the email in 2 to 3 lines. Read the snippet and assign exactly one label from high priority, medium priority, not important according to the system rules. Message ID is being taken directly from here. Snippet is being taken directly from here. What I have done is I just copy pasted this stuff from here. Basically, these are the inputs that we are giving to the AI agent. And now, if you look at the system message,
Yeah, I think one clarification, Shivaji, in chat
yeah,
they're asking, so where do we put the user message? So for that, in your previous screen, right, I think tell them like we need to click on the define below on top. By default, it will be,
oh,
yeah.
right, right. So you have to click on define below. It's usually connected chat trigger, but change it to define below. And yeah, that's the system message. Basically, what says you are an inbox classifier for under Gmail messages. And again, I haven't typed it actually. I used an AI. I used GPT to get this prompt, and I just made changes wherever I felt changes are needed. Your job is to read short email snippet and assign exactly one label from the set. High priority, medium priority, not important. Follow these rules. High priority. Any payment related emails, subscription, delivery order, support ticket messages, explicit urgency or deadlines, medium priority, the conditions. So basically you can set up whatever the conditions that you want your agent to, behave in a way. All of that under here. And now the most important thing is, uh, so two things. One is require specific output format. What this does is basically it forces the AI agent uh, to give the output in a very defined format rather than random formats, random headings, random outputs. It forces the AI agent to give the output in a very defined format. That's one thing. Second is enable fallback. Since what we are doing is a very small task, we don't need to have a fallback model. Output parser, structured output parser, right. So basically here we are going to set up how exactly we want the output to be, right? Yeah. And then we are gonna, okay, let me set up the output parser. Since for us to label any email, we want two items or two things to figure out what is the email ID that we are talking about. Message ID is the email that we are talking about. Basically, it's a unique number or unique code each email has. That's the message ID, right? Snippet is the message, what is the content of the email. And now, if I run it, yeah, in the meanwhile, if you guys have any questions till now, you can just shoot.
Could you go over the output parser again, please? I'm a bit unclear on what to do.
Sure, sure. Basically, just a structured format that we are giving to the AI agent, telling that, Dekho, this is how I want my output to be. That's all. And you can see that actually here in the output. It's taking time since I have set up 15. Let me change this to 10 for now, just so that, yeah. Any other questions, guys, till now? Or with the prompts, user message, system message? Now, once we get this output, we have to pass it on back to the Gmail, right? So now we go back to add label to your message, right? Yeah. So this is how we would be adding a label to any email. So to show you, I have three labels: high priority, medium priority, and not important. I have created them in the morning itself. So now to pass a label to any email, I need these two. One is the message ID, which we were talking earlier, a unique code which each and every email has, right? Next is label names or IDs. So these are the IDs. Since I can't have this as a fixed thing, for example, let's say if I select something, these are the labels that any email, the passing on email would get tagged with. But I don't want that to happen. I want this to be a variable. So what I'll do, I'll change it to an expression. And now for that, I need IDs. I need label IDs, not label name. So we are going to get many labels. Get a label info, get many labels. Yes. So we are going to get label info. So basically how we have IDs for each and every email, the unique the unique code that we were referring to, in a pretty much similar fashion, each and every label has a very unique ID. So that what we are trying to go get here now. So I'm gonna click on, anyways, my Gmail is already connected to this. Label, create, delete, get all the labels details. So I'm gonna click on this, right? So yeah, these are the labels that we are gonna currently look at. Medium priority, not important, high priority. And these are the label IDs. These are the numbers that we need, right? So now I'm gonna go back again. I have these numbers. Yeah. Oh. Any questions or okay. Also, guys, you can see the count here. As it's working, you can see the count that's happening here in the tool structured output parser tool. Right. Not executed successfully. Huh. See, now if you look at the output is medium priority, high priority, not important, the label. But when we go look at add label to message node, since this is going to be a variable, we have to pass on the label IDs. We can't pass on the label names, right? So what I'm gonna do, I am going to use a JavaScript node. Yep. I've done this already. I'll just copy paste it for you. So it will be easy. So whatever the label that we are getting, we are just tagging that to the label ID that we have here. Whatever that I shared earlier. I'll walk you through the JavaScript step by step. Yeah. So basically in this JavaScript, we are saying that, hey, if it's high priority, this is the label ID. If this is medium priority, this is the label ID. If this is not important, this is the label ID. That's all. Nothing more than that. And now I'm going to connect that. Let me break it for just for now. Okay. Execute. Ten items. Yes. Label, medium priority, Gmail label ID. So, yep, we got the outputs here. Now we connect this to the next node. So, and we can pin the outputs rather than running the execution multiple times. You can just pin the output so that you don't have to run it again. So now I'm connecting this to add label to message, right? So now we need message ID and label ID, right? Gmail label ID we have from here. And message ID, I'm going to give it from here. Okay. Done. All the emails have been labeled. So let me go back to the email. So earlier there was, I think, one in medium priority. Now we have one in high priority, 8 in medium priority, one which is not so important. And let's say once this is set up, all you have to do is, okay, you just unpin it, save it, make it live. That's all. You guys are sorted, and probably based on your requirement, you can use the filters here. Received after, received before, sender also if you want to. All that. Also, there is one more. If you want to include even spam and trash, all of that. And as per the trigger that I have set up, every day 8 a.m., I get all the emails which are in my inbox unread. The last 10, you can change it again, 50, 100, whatever it is, will get auto tagged. So by 8 a.m., the moment I go check my email, it's all labeled as per, how important or how urgent it is for me to get back to that particular email. Any questions, doubts? You guys able to set it up, see the output?
Shivaji, can you please share the JavaScript code?
Oh yeah, sure. Sorry, my bad. Also, guys, one more thing, as Rahul was sharing earlier. So N8N has a default built-in AI agent, which is extremely good. You can just type down whatever the issue that you want, whatever the data transformation that you are looking at in plain English, natural language, and it gives you an output. And also the most important things or the amazing thing is, let's say if there is an error or issue here, the AI agent, N8N built-in AI agent can read your screen. So it can see what is on your screen and it can it can see if there are any bugs, if there are any issues, and it can also suggest you what needs to be changed, where it has to be changed. And it completely, for example, let's say if there is an issue with this JavaScript, just to give an example, the N8N AI agent can read the screen, can figure out where the issue is, and it can also gives me just a button which is replace or correct my code. You just click on that button and the code directly gets replaced with the right JavaScript. And this is not just for JavaScript node, this is for all the nodes. So the ease of building is one of the most amazing things when we are talking about N8N. Though there are other platforms, I have used Lindy, I have used Make.com. Also, I have used the OG Zapier. I'm sure some people here must be aware of the Zapier integrations. So I did use all of them, but N8N is very visually easy to understand, and even in terms of integrations, connections, all of that, it's so easy basically. Even someone coming from a non-tech background like me, totally, is able to build automations.
Okay. I've also created a small feedback form also. Just before this call, I had created a workflow on N8N as well to get this feedback and send an email based on it. I'm not sure if it will work accurately, but it was just done in like 2 to 3 minutes. So you can fill this feedback form. Hopefully, if it works, you will get an email as well. So might as well try it. Aishwarya has a question on how to fill message ID and label ID. Shivaji.
Okay. How to fill the message ID and label ID. Which node are you referring to, Aishwarya?
This is the add label to message, the last step. Like after we execute the code in JavaScript, how do we customize that add label to message component?
Sure. So the label ID you get from here, the JavaScript. So you just drag it and keep it here. Okay. And the message ID we get from here. Just drag it and keep it here. Also, see, one thing is that since the number of output items here are the same, I could have passed on even the ID in all the nodes and would have got it. But since it's same 10 items and it's in the same order, I'm copy pasting or dragging from a different node. If that's an issue, what you can do, you can pass on the ID in all the nodes. In the AI agent node, even in the JavaScript node, you can pass on all the nodes.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So this one isolated get many labels node that we got, it was basically just like a placeholder thing for us to get label IDs.
Yes.
We can get rid of it basically when this thing is finalized.
Done. Yeah. So there are a lot of
memory requirement. Sorry to interrupt. Basically, there's no memory requirement for this one or any output parser for this one, this particular use case.
Memory requirement is not there, but we have set up the output parser, right?
Correct.
For the label ID.
Yeah. In what scenarios would you say we require a memory, what do you call it, node?
So memory is basically when there is a conversation between you and agent. Like when there are 3-4 conversations and there is a connection between the first message and third message. For example, let's say if it's okay, I'll give you a very best example. Let's say if you're talking to a chatbot in Myntra support, right? You talk to it, you ask, hey, where is my order? I placed it on so and so, and here is my email ID. So it goes to the database, checks what is the order that are there against your email ID, and say there are three, four order IDs or 3-4 orders that you have placed in the last 2 days, 3 days. Now it comes back to you, says, hey, Ansh, I see there are 3-4 orders. Which one is yours? As in, which one are you referring to? So now there is a relation between the first message, second message, the conversation that is happening. There's a relation between the messages, but there is no relation at all in the automation that we have set up now, which is just labeling.
Understood.
Yeah. Are you guys able to run the flow, see the results, or get those labeling things done?
So, Shivaji, I'm getting an error message. It says bad request. Please check your parameters. Item 0. I think everything till the point of that JavaScript execution is working fine. The
Okay.
add limit message is what is causing the error.
Okay. I think let me share my screen. Let's check if the settings are same. Yeah. Is this how the settings here in the node? You might have only
Yeah,
one
that's
Gmail.
correct. Sorry, Shivaji, you were saying something?
No, I was saying that you might see only one Gmail account.
Correct, that's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just have that one Gmail account and the other things look the same.
So the label name you got from JavaScript node only, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And the message ID
Message ID from the get many messages, that component.
and operation is add label only.
Add label, that's correct. So it says label ID not found in the output.
Okay.
Like after that bad request, please check your parameters.
Yeah, yeah,
It says
I'll tell you
label.
why. Yeah. So basically, in the code which Shivaji had copied, it has the label ID which is specific to our account. So
Oh,
if
right.
you
Yeah.
open the code, Shivaji,
Yeah.
the code. So we have given it 3 labels, right? Label 56819, all that. That is specific to our account, the labels we
Right,
created.
right.
Your
So
labels
you guys
might
have to replace
need to
them with
replace.
whatever the label IDs that you get after the execution.
And that label ID you can. So have you created the labels on Gmail? Like going to Gmail and creating the labels, Aishwarya?
Or if you already have labels, you can use the same also.
Okay. I think what we can do is like Aishwarya can put it in the community. We'll guide you there. Like it's basically the label ID which is wrong at the moment.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So these are mapped to our account, our Gmail account. Basically, you just have to replace them with whatever you get when this node execution is done. So whatever you get here, once this execution is done, you have to replace that with your label IDs. That's all. Any other questions, doubts? Ansh, were you able to get the output?
Yeah, it is giving an output, but I suppose I'll have to tweak the prompt a bit more to get output, which I personally would be more happy with. Like, for example, there is a mail from my HR about onboarding. I'm joining a new job tomorrow, so that is classified as medium priority. So
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll have to tweak all that. Yeah.
So also, all the people who are billing it, you can just set it up live. N8N gives a 14 days free trial. So you can just make it live and keep it 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. or maybe 10 p.m. to 8 a.m., whatever the time that you are comfortable with. And it keeps running for 14 days.
What after
Okay.
14?
So yeah, there are ways like the ones which we are using. So after 14 days, it actually charges you $25, but there are ways to get it for $3 as well by doing some self-hosting. We can probably link we have already linked those videos in our community. We can probably get it up on the chat as well again. So that requires a bit of like small setup, but apart from that, it's simple. And I mean, if you're doing something for your company, you might as well get the cloud service, which is like $25. But if it's a personal experimentation, you can set it up yourself.
So, like for a company use case, is it necessary to get the enterprise license, or generally, like even the personal tier licenses can do the job?
Personal licenses can do the job.
As it depends if there is anything confidential stuff. I think then it's enterprise is preferred. unless if it does not have any confidential stuff. I think personal is good.
Good.
So we also run an WhatsApp community where all the agent builders share knowledge, information, as I was saying at the beginning of the call. So if anyone is interested, I just share the link in the chat for you people.
Okay. I think given we are on not on time, I would say we are 20 minutes. So that's thanks for staying back. And I think some or most of you have at least got on hands-on on N8N, at least a start. And start is all that matters. It's not about creating your agent in 1 hour, but having the start and just getting the experience of it, right? So now that you have it, like it's just about like trying out different things, and even it took us time to figure out all the different components on N8N and figure out what is good, what is bad, and understanding the UI. But once you get the hang of it, right, it's just about having an idea in mind, and execution is pretty straightforward. And back at that time, we didn't have the feature of building through AI as well. But given that those are also available, it becomes much easier. So
It's a
thank
lot
you
fun,
all.
guys. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
it's a lot
fun as well.
fun. If you guys have time, at least 2 hours or 3 hours over the weekend, it's a lot of fun. So can just play with it like crazy.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
we built a lot of automations, which are being used by companies. We built a voice calling agent where the agent calls customers, and to the best extent possible, it does sound like a human, not 100% human. It does sound like a human. It calls up the customers and schedule demos. It is scheduling demos as we are speaking on every day. Keeping that aside, we also built web-based conversational agents. See, the chat used to be earlier over emails. That has moved to chatbots, where it's a text format. Now, support is moving to voice-based conversations. So now, companies have a pop-up or chat box displayed where the moment you click on it, it automatically you can speak to the agent. So we have also built that agent for an edtech company where the 50 or 60,000 students who are registered under them, if they have any issue related to books, classes, or anything, they can just talk to the agent, share their email ID, registered email ID, the issue, and the agent replies back in real time. We also built trading agents for one trading firm based out of Mumbai. We also build one agent for content creation. What it does is basically you give any input, for example, Diwali, Gandhi Jayanti, Independence Day, Bakrid, Pongal, anything. It follows all the brand guidelines, brand logos, and the placement, and it just gives you a creative which you can just download and post on all your socials in a couple of minutes. See, you might come back saying that ChatGPT does it already, but the problem with ChatGPT is text alignment, logo alignment, making sure that the creatives follows all the brand guidelines. That's a problem. So these are some of the agents that we have built. We also going 3 projects in parallel as we are speaking, which are still in the building phase. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. I hope all of you guys start building things and experimenting. Yeah, over to Rahul. If you want to share anything.
Nothing. Yeah, thanks for summarizing it, Shivaji. Like it was great to have all of you here, and it was fun actually, like building things hands-on. It would be much better if we did it in person. So we might conduct hackathons or in-person sessions as well. Mostly in Bangalore because most of the audience is here, but open to other suggestions as well. But yeah, looking forward to connect again.